Hi, I'm Chef Rob Corliss. I'd like to chat with you about a personal philosophy of connecting people, especially kids, to their food, environment, and wellness. Now more than ever, real food is at the forefront of people's minds, especially as a chef. 26 plus years experience working in luxury resort hotels, food service marketing, and most important, within our public schools, where I have the privilege of serving as the Executive Chef of Wellness for our local school district, educating and transforming the food and wellness experience of our kids. This has really shaped my appreciation for mindful eating and sharing that passion and knowledge. That's why I love working with IDF products. IDF chicken broth, it's like a simple secret to healthy food. As chefs, we're always creating flavor. And this is where IDF chicken broth really shines. For me, it's an innovation platform for so many recipes, both food and beverages. For example, this amazing tortilla soup. For our amazing tortilla soup, it's loaded with healthy ingredients, multiple flavors, tastes, textures. It's really going to make a healthful, satiating soup. We start with roasted chicken. You have dark and white meat that's been pulled into chunks. Then we have fresh avocados. We're going to put these around the chicken, and avocados have a lot of wonderful health benefits, and it's also going to add a creamy texture to the soup as well as a beautiful color. Then we're going to add a little bit of chunks of Monterey Jack cheese. The Monterey Jack cheese, at the end when you see our IDF chicken broth that we'll add into here, it's going to melt and give a wonderful mouthfeel to it. Then my favorite ingredient, we've got fresh cilantro. I'm going to put a little extra of this in. This is, one, a wonderful, healthy aromatic, but two, it gives also just a beautiful visual, and it speaks to what we talked about before about creating real food, real healthy food. Then for just a little punch, we don't need a lot. We're going to add a couple red chili flakes in there. And then for texture and a hint of the saltiness, we're going to add our tortilla chips. And when that melts in, it's just going to create great texture. And then fresh lime. Lime, as you know, sour is one of our 5 tastes. The lime and the acid just really brightens flavors, and it really will help bringing all these to life. IDF chicken broth is the star ingredient. Now watch what happens here. As I'm pouring the hot broth over, this is what really pulls the soup together, delivers those big umami flavors. There's no salt added, it's naturally high in potassium. And as you know, umami, it's extremely satisfying. It balances out taste, flavor, texture, and the more umami you have in your recipe, the more pleasing and flavorful it is. This is a really healthful, satiating, comforting food. I like to use the broth when I'm steaming fresh veggies and fish. I just simply mix it with lemon and herb sprigs. It just creates a wonderful depth of flavor to those ingredients. I also love to use broth mixed with just a touch of olive oil when I'm finishing off vegetables in a saute pan or roasted potatoes. Now traditionally when you're soaking beans, you use water, but using the broth in here just goes, again, it creates that more depth of flavor, and you're already putting that inherent goodness into the beans before you even simmer them. So it's just, to me, that's a win-win using broth instead of water in that application. Salad dressings. The natural proteins in the broth are a natural emulsifier. It can also produce a lower fat, lower sodium salad dressing. And here I just mix it with a little Greek yogurt and fresh herbs. It's a wonderful, wonderful use for the broth over fresh greens. And in here we kind of double down on our umami factor. The broth is put into a Parmesan polenta. It just adds to that creaminess, the mouthfeel, and those umami notes that we all love as a chef. Also put it in, you see the red sauce around is a roasted red pepper Kalamata olive sauce. The broth is in there because that, just like our tortilla soup, it's that ingredient that brings all those flavors together and just creates a dynamite, very simplistic, fresh dish. Also, like we talked before, I love it in beverages. This is a traditional Bloody Mary. The natural gelatin and proteins in the broth really accentuate the viscosity of a Bloody Mary and give that wonderful flavor that we all crave when we order that beverage. And I love it also in baked goods. You can replace sodium in your baked goods when you use the chicken broth. And here we exemplify that with our chicken lavash. and our chicken and sage biscuits. IDF chicken broth provides endless innovation, functionality, versatility. I love to use it in soups and broth, stew, a pot pie, sauce, or gravy, as a glaze, as a marinade, or you can use it as a tenderizer, also stuffing, or when I'm making the technique doing risotto, or best of all, it's a flavoring agent for endless food and beverage ideas. I believe, and as you can see, great flavor starts with a great chicken broth. To learn more about IDF chicken broth, please contact the information below.